Have you ever wondered how Star Wars movies would be ranked if we based them only off the third fight to happen in that movie? Well, I sure never have, but I'm gonna be ranking them anyway. Some of these third fights are as glorious as a perfectly golden chicken strip, and others, well, let's just say they're kind of soggy. So let's jump right into these third fights with our last place movie, Empire Strikes Back. It feels like a crime to put this movie last in back-to-back videos, but just hear me out. The first battle in this movie was when Luke fought the Abominable Snowman in the ice cave, and the second was obviously a battle on Hoth, which makes the third one this weird fight between Luke and Vader on Dagobah. I can't explain why, but this fight just makes me feel like so uncomfortable. I mean, it's just like it's not good. You know? The whole thing is just so weird. I mean, just George, why? Like enough of that fight. It's just so weird. Next to number 10 is The Force Wakes Up. This movie gets started off with a small genocide led by the emo boy himself. Then there's another massacre on Jakku, but Rey and Finn escape whilst blowing things up, which leads us to the third fight, which once again happens on the Falcon, and I honestly don't remember this at all. Like, what was the point? What was happening? I don't remember. Like, who the heck are these guys? And what the heck is this? And why the heck is Han Solo here? And why is there another bounty on my head? I mean, you rob one bank these days and the cops are... Number 9 is going to the fan favorite film Rise of Palpatine. This movie once again starts with emo Skywalker slicing and dicing some fools like I'd be slicing my lettuce. Then later the Falcon gets another fight blowing up ties and hyperspace jumping or whatever you call this. I don't really know. And then later on some stormtroopers start chasing our good guys down and the fight is going good. The heroes be running, the bad guys be chasing, but then the unthinkable happens. Just watch for yourself.
They fly now! They fly now? They fly!
I have nightmares about this joke. Like, buddy, they've been flying since the Old Republic days. This is not new news. Read a book or whatever history y'all have in the Star Wars galaxy. But yeah, this single awful line completely tanked this fight to the bottom of the list, where the sequels deserve to be. I'm not biased. Trust me. Let's head to the next movie, number 8, The Least Jedi. And yeah, I'm really starting to agree with this list. Please don't burn me alive, Star Wars nerds. Empire Strikes Back is a good movie. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, The Least Jedi. This movie starts off with, once again, a whole bunch of deaths, because apparently that's what the sequels do. Then Rey has this tense, jaw-biting, toe-clenching fight versus this rock. But don't worry, Rey somehow pulled off this fight. When all odds were against her, she defeated this rock. And the next fight happens way later in Snoke's throne room after he gets killed by Kylo. And these red dudes were like, hey, that's not allowed. You're gonna die now since we severely outnumber you and are highly trained. But then Disney was like, yo, red dudes, y'all should like fight the good guys one at a time so it just looks epic. And then the red dudes were like, that seems dumb, but all right. And then they proceed to lose the battle. And also, a fire started. I don't really know how this started and I don't remember when it started, but there's a fire because epic. Right? A little side note, I remember audibly laughing in a Cinemark's movie theater when I saw the fire, because like, it's just, they're trying so hard to be epic, it's funny. You know what's not funny? Number 7, Solo. We hit this movie off with some gang violence, then we hit the trenches with this horrifying battle that Han Solo fights in. Then comes to the big number 3 with this train fight, which is actually a fairly solid fight. Like, blasters are blasting, people was dying, little explosions, big explosion. Train, snow... That's all a fight really needs. Like, yeah, it's completely and totally, like, not awful, but not great. Anyway, number 6 is The Phantom Menace. And I'm just gonna skip the first 2 fights because they're more boring than my love life. The third fight happens when Qui-Gon and Anakin are leaving and Maul speeds in and tries to save the galaxy, but then Annie drops and Qui-Gon and Maul start dueling. Honestly, this duel is an excellent preview for the fight to come later, and it had some really sexy lightsaber action. Like, these clashes were nice. They were just short of elite. Like, this fight really just wakes. Number 5, A Fresh Hope, where the first fight happens in the rescue of Leia. And I'm not counting these fights in the car because I feel like they are not good enough to count. So the second fight of this film that I counted was Obi-Wan versus Vader, which makes the battle over Yavin the third fight. This fight was an absolute spectacle back in 1776, but nowadays it's clearly dated a bit, but it's still good in its own way. Plus the trench run is just so iconic, and man, I hate this stupid game with a passion. If you ever played this game, you know what I'm talking about. Like, it's not possible. Screw you, whoever made this. But while I did enjoy watching all these explosions, the next 3 fights were just too legendary for me to put this one above it. Starting with number 3, Revenge of the Sith. Yet again, this movie starts with a massive battle, and I just bundled all the fights that happened over Coruscant, like Obi-Wan and Anakin versus Dooku. I just put them all in one battle. So that means number 3.
What about the droid attack on the Wookiees?
Oh yeah, the Battle of Kashyyyk is number 2. Making Battle on Utapau the third battle, and oh my, I just love this fight here. Like, look at this 2/12 clone right here. And also, we get the iconic Obi-Wan moment that everyone knows about.
Hello there.
Especially got a lot of other cool things like these clones repelling in, or the creature. But unfortunately, my boy gets shot. Justice for the gone but not forgotten. And number 2 is Rogue One. This movie has a quick street fight, then a quick bombing run that no one cares about. Well, except maybe Jin, because like her father died in it. But like that's not important. No one cares. So the third fight of this movie happens to be one of my top 5 Star Wars battles, with that of the Battle of Scarif. I don't know exactly why I love this fight so much, but I do know I love it. Maybe it's watching my favorite characters that I come to love all wreck some stormtroopers on their way to crazy heroic death, or it's the absolute beauty of the setting, or it's just like the awesome looking stormtroopers. But man, I love this fight so much. But shockingly, it did not claim the number 1 spot, and that is because the number 1 spot is going to the Book of Boba Fett with this awesome spin here. Nah, I'm just playing. It's the Attack of Clones with the Geonosian Arena scene. This is hands down the best part of the movie. Like, I remember watching the whole movie as a kid just so I could watch this one scene. Like watching all these Jedi just go crazy on some droids. It's just lit. And then Yoda and the Republic dropships pull up like absolute cinema. Also, I really like seeing Anakin with a green lightsaber for some reason. I don't really know why, but I just thought it fit him well. I mean, Anakin just had so much aura. 2-week free trial down in the description.